Hi, kindergarten, first and second grade leaders. We're preparing for October 15th. And this week we're talking about Parables Got Talent. And I'm looking at the parable that Jesus told in Matthew 25 about the businessman who gave his workers an advance on their money, and how each of those people chose to use their money and their stuff. This is a good lesson to help kids understand that the things that they have value, and because things have value, then we can figure out how we can treat it or use it wisely so that maybe we have it for longer, or so that we can help another person with it, or just honestly so that mom and dad don't always have to figure out how come my kid never has crayons. Well, because Johnny eats his crayons all the time, or whatever. That is our story for the week, the parable of the talents. In your small group baskets, you have a hula hoop, and your hula hoop is for your opening activity. Your opening activity is called Hula Hoop Squeeze, and what you're doing is you're going to call out a category or a letter or something else, and the kids have to think of something that God made that fits that category, and then you're trying to squeeze as many people as you can into the hula hoop before it's just overflowing with kids. We're going to try to get small hula hoops, so this will be a really fun activity because you'll get to squeeze a bunch of kids into a very small space. Then we will move to large group and do our worship time together. And then in your baskets you have these cards that have a lot of different pictures on it. When your kids get back to small group, or maybe as they're getting back into their small group space, you could take each card and you're going to tape it to one card on each kid's chest, like so. I'm going to tape mine up high so you can actually see it. All right. And then the kids are you're gonna call out some different riddles, and all of the kids have to move close to the person that they think is the answer for this riddle. So the riddle that answers the dog, can you see my doggy, is if you have this, your family buys dog food. And so everybody would move close to me because I have the dog. And then there's a bunch of other cards. So once you're done with that part of the activity, then you can have the kids take off their pictures if they want to take off their pictures. And then you can also talk to them about coming up with ways that they could use the object that's on their chest, or maybe you want them to think of one object that they have that they might be able to use in a wise manner. So if I have a dog, is there something that I could do that could help other people with my dog? There may be some very practical things, like if you take your dog for a walk, clean up after it's out walking would be very kind and wise way to take care and think of other people first. You may need to get really creative on some of those things, but that's the activity for the day. There's a few other questions in there as well. And then your memory verse activity is the same activity for the whole month. It's called Little Voice, Big Voice. And our memory verse activity, or memory verse for the month, is whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much, from Luke 16:10. These are Jesus's words to the disciples. And so, actually, I think it's a sermon on that. So he... And when you use the little stuff, you use your little bitty voice. And when you talk about big stuff, you use your great big giant voice, and maybe it's really loud. And then there's also some little scenarios there that you can talk about. Feel free to add your own if you'd like to at this point in the month. And then you have a pray and dismiss activity. And I really encourage you to get kids to calm down and settle down in this activity and really think together about some ways that they could share something that they have with someone else. We're still all recovering from Hurricane Harvey, and so I think that kids probably at this point are really thinking of some ways that they could take care of their neighbors, but also maybe everybody's getting ready for Christmas, or we're still trying to get ready for Operation Christmas Child. Maybe they can think of ways that they could share something they have with somebody in a developing country who's never had the chance to hear about Jesus. So, encourage you to do that. Also, as you finish up this time, make sure that you send home your God time cards with each kid. These cards are to help them understand the stories that we're doing better. It'll help families know how to discuss this. This is one thing we're going to really encourage for the month of October, is to send the God time cards home so that parents get the chance to partner with us to help kids understand stewardship and generosity. Thank you guys for what you do. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.